Welcome. We're talking about the buy now pandemic, retail therapy, you name it, why we purchase so many things and what it does to us on so many levels. That's what we're talking about in this episode. And I'm Dr. Jodi, and I'm joined here by Lily, my daughter Lily. And we thought of this topic because it's something that touches all of us. All of us are touched by this buy now pandemic because we are constantly looking at content and seeing ads to a million different products. Yeah. And so what do we do about this? And I just want to think about the layers of problems with this buy now culture that we have. And now we're being called in a lot of different arenas to boycott some of these big businesses because of the influence that they have in our world. And so let's talk about some of the problems of this buy now culture. There'll be relational problems. We're going to go into each of these, but relational problems, there are social problems, there are mental health problems, there are medical problems, social problems. Did I say social already? And financial problems. And not even to mention environmental problems of having so much stuff, this throwaway culture. So we're going to get into it. Mm-hmm. And Lily was the inspiration for this topic because we were talking about TikTok when TikTok was going to be taken down, mm-hmm. and some feelings that she has about TikTok shopping.
Yeah, I hate TikTok shop. I do not like TikTok shop. It really bothers me. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, and we're going to talk about it, but I have like a deep hatred for it. So I was excited. I was excited about TikTok closing because, because, yeah, okay, so we'll get ads on our For You page, and some of them are just like normal ads, and they're just like, oh, this is a cute shirt or whatever. That's fine, I guess. But then there'll be something that like let's say it's an anti-aging cream, and then it'll be like, this works better than the last one we put out that I saw like a month ago, because I'm not explaining this right, but like, well, I'll have seen it and then I'll see it again a few weeks later, and it's like, new formula, it works better, the old one didn't work, like, we admit it didn't work, and then a few weeks later it'll be like, new improved formula, like, now it works. And it really bothers me that they think we're so stupid, and then we are, like, it even works on me. I will go and buy, I'm not on TikTok shop, but I will just, I'm a sucker for ads. We all are. But I'm not explaining it well. But
no, but I understand. You were giving us an example before of some product, but it wasn't a cream, but it was some product, and it said, the influencers, this is the thing, is that influencers are doing content ads, right? So they're talking about something and then mentioning the product, or talking about how they got the product, or how to use the product, or there's so many hooks, like why you should never buy this. But then when you watch it, because it gets you hooked,
yeah.
And then when you watch it, you decide, oh my gosh, you do need that. These are all these great things that happen when you buy that. But they hooked you by saying why you should never buy this vacuum for your car. But Lily was giving an example of this product, whatever it was, little vacuum or something, that it came out that it didn't work. And so they had to fix the problems, and they had influencers have to act like this one's better than the last one.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, what really struck you, is that after the third or fourth time, I think the same influencer or ads, actor for the ad was saying the last one didn't work, we fixed it, this one is even better. So they sold the same people 4 different.
Yeah, like,
of course, there's more people showing the ad. But
at that point, like, give it up. It's over.
But think about all of those first 3 iterations are in the garbage. I mean, you don't throw them away. That there is a place that these things go, and eventually there's not going to be space.
Or they're not even different. They probably are just like saying that they're like new improved formula, and it's not.
Right.
But anyway, so that was like the inciting incident. Like,
it's just so obvious that we're being manipulated, and that's, I think, what bothers you.
Yeah.
It's like, how stupid do they think that we are?
Because this is why, okay, consumerism culture in general is is bad. But I think what started this conversation was that I'd rather be manipulated and like and not even realize it than being like, I don't know. That sounds bad. Yeah.
It does sound weird.
That does sound weird. But like, okay, Trader Joe's like a big corporation, but they try really hard to make it seem like it's like down to earth. Like all of the labels are like self-written, and that's okay, that's actually scary. So I guess that is bad.
You feel good purchasing there because you think that you're doing something good for the earth. I watched this. If anybody is on Netflix, another problem, right? But if anyone's on Netflix, you could watch this Buy Now
oh my
documentary.
Gosh, this whole conversation is just us being like, it's better to do this, or if you do this, and then
you're watching
more things. Like we actually can't have this conversation without talking about so many things that are bad.
Yeah, like I have a YouTube channel. So how do you make money on YouTube? There's ads sold. So
like this.
So it's podcast. I watch this show and I'm like, I really have to change everything that I do, because even just content creating, even putting content out there, how is it shown to other people? Even if I'm educating people, or even if I'm trying to inspire people or trying to help people heal, really, it's all paid for with these ads. Not that I'm getting, I'm getting pennies, so it's nothing for me, but like I'm helping these huge corporations make a lot of money with my content. And so you start to question everything. And really, after watching this, I really want to question, what am I doing?
Because I was just about to say that I'd rather spend money on Trader Joe's than TikTok Shop, but it's literally the same thing, and it's working on me.
Yeah.
So what can we do?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think I feel like I love teaching. I want to be out here. I want to teach people because I think it lands in a way, because I understand what people are thinking. So I understand how to say it in a way that it helps people know what to do. I'm very practical, my teacher. So I still want to do that, but I'm using these huge platforms, like Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and there are problems out there, right? So yes, if we find something we like. Okay, I was going to get to this more at the end, but let's just bring it up. What can you do? One of the best things you could do is, if you see an ad and you're triggered into thinking that you might want something, put it in a note with the link or whatever, and wait 30 days. And if you still want that thing 30 days later, then it might be something that you need. But if it's something new that you didn't even know you want until the ad told you needed it, wait a while. Some people say 24 hours. I would say 30 days, because I think we have to really ingrain this practice of not buying things that we don't need. Most of the things we get, we don't need more clothes. We don't need more stuff. We have so much stuff. And then we get, I spent some time in Brooklyn because my kids are down here, and there's just huge buildings of storage, like cubicle storage. Like, we're buying space. People don't have homes. We're buying space to hold our stuff, basically. Okay, so let's get into it. So yes, wait 24 hours. If you see something on one of these channels, go find the company yourself, so they don't get the ad revenue from that. Also, you could also try to buy locally, try to buy used stuff, try to upcycle things. So if something doesn't fit or it's stained, do something like make a little patch on it, make it different in a way. So you're using things that are still usable. It's just they have a stain in it.
Yeah, it'll make you feel better too. Like you can get your power back from being manipulated.
Yeah.
It makes you feel powerless.
Yeah. I love Facebook Marketplace. It's still Facebook, but they don't make any money if you're local. They do if you're shipping stuff, but if you're local and sharing stuff, they don't make anything. Of course, they get more eyeballs on there, and then they have ads, so they're getting something on the back end. So that's not even true.
Yeah, it's actually hard to have it's anywhere. So integrated into our culture that it's hard to give solutions without being like, well, yeah.
Well, that's even if too. We're like, less of one.
It's just like I guess it's just the lesser of two evils at this point.
Yeah, right. What? So buy used, share things. If you're in a community, get a community thread or some kind of app or something that people could share, like the Buy Nothing groups in each town. And I know a lot of those are on Facebook, but if we take them off that platform and do something else with them, that would be great. But sharing with your neighbors. If I have something I want to give away, I ask all my nieces and nephews, do you want this thing? And often they do want it. So that's kind of that's easier off all the platforms. But buy local, buy from small businesses, go without, upcycle, wait 30 days before you buy something that, especially if you saw an ad for it, wait 30 days and then see if you still want it. So we're giving the solutions in the beginning, but let's talk about some of the problems that happen and how they're really affecting us. Because yes, maybe you could see, oh my gosh, this is horrible for the earth. It's so easy for us to try not to care about that because there's so much other stuff going on. Really, we do not have bandwidth to care about the earth right now, which is really, really sad. Most people don't have bandwidth, but the culture of takeout and all of that stuff is like, oh, it's just sick to me. It makes me sick, really. I mean, you live in New York, you probably just, it's constant. Nobody cooks anymore. They're just buying something in a container and throwing it out. It's unbelievable how much waste.
But you're kind of, well, yeah, it's expensive. It's more expensive to take out most of the time.
Yeah. But it's so
sometimes
cheap,
when
actually.
you're, in terms of bandwidth, like,
you use your time doing something else or whatever.
I don't know.
It's really easy. It's so easy. It's so easy. But then you're like, well, if we don't use these small businesses, maybe these restaurants are small businesses and family businesses, and you're supporting their business. That's great. Go sit down and eat in there. I like to eat in a restaurant instead.
Well, okay. So at the beginning, you said that it like impacts your relationships.
Yes.
Like by now culture.
By now culture, because people have different values on what they spend money on. So if you're in a couple relationship and you're sharing money, or even if you're in a roommate relationship and you don't have your rent because you've been spending too much online or too much buying stuff that you don't need, and then you're hurting those relationships or you're hurting that partnership because you just you're spending money that you could give to your kids or have your kids do something with it or whatever. I don't know, right? So it does affect relationships.
It divides people. So like, because I'm in college, so some people spend all day outside, like just doing things. Like they'll go to the movies and then they'll go out to dinner and go to a dessert place and go to a candy shop and get drinks or blah blah blah. And that is just like, wow,
adds up.
How do you just spend like hundreds of dollars every day? That's so crazy. And then some people are like, wait, why would I just like watch a movie at home or play games or something and
talk. And you talk to your roommates for just hours and play cards. Bring back decks of cards.
Pathetic, but
my cards. Get my cards. I don't have them to hold up.
Yeah, right. Your games. Yeah. But it divides people. Like I think there's value in going out for a drink or something
to socially
be out and leave the house. But then if there's like a mixture of the two, then you could. But like the people that want to save money can't go out with their friends because then that means they're also gonna have to do 10 other things that will.
Well, sometimes if you have so many things, you've bought so many things, your house is just so full, you're too embarrassed to have people over. Or you're so withdrawn because you feel a lot of guilt or you don't feel good about yourself. Because if you have a lot of clutter from all of this stuff, it affects your mind. So what is in your mind is reflected outside, and what's in your room is reflected inside your mind. So if you have a lot of clutter, you do feel really chaotic. Yeah. And then when you feel chaotic or out of control or anxious or anything, you tend to withdraw. So it affects relationships on different levels. Like one is because there's different value of finances and you might be trying to hide stuff and then lying, and that's a huge problem, of course. And then sometimes you're just withdrawing socially. First of all, because you're spending a lot of time in there, you like it. There's that dopamine hack of like when you get something, you're excited about it, and you don't need friends anymore. But you're not really happy when you don't have friends because we're social beings. And then we get more nervous about being around people because we're not around them all the time. So we get all familiar with it. We get more nervous, and our mental health deteriorates in that kind of situation. So that's what I mean by relational.
Yeah, that's super sad.
Yeah. But if you like, you don't need to go out and buy something to be with people. You don't need to be in a restaurant. Clean your house up, have people over in your house, play cards, talk. People just want to talk. They want to be heard. They want to talk. That's one of the best things you could do. I think for our world, one of the best things we could do is get in together with people and talk. So it is good for our mental health. It's good for our relational health. It's good for our understanding of other people. We tend to, when you put two heads together, you tend to plan about how to make the world a better place. You have a lot of bandwidth because you have that validation from that other person and the community and maybe the fun. And so you have bandwidth to then go and do something else that makes the world a better place. Getting together in person is the best thing you could do. Shopping online, being isolated, feeling bad about it or guilty about it, or having your house be so overloaded that you can't have people over, not good for your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Not good for your mental health.
Yeah. It's sort of related, but I was just thinking the other day I went into Target because I wanted a puzzle.
Ooh, get one from the library. They have like ones that they're just trying to give away.
Well, because Target doesn't have any puzzles. We couldn't find a puzzle. It was like our fourth place. Whatever. It was so sad that we spent so much time.
I hate to buy a puzzle new.
Can you like buy one from a library?
Sometimes libraries, depends. In my hometown in Rochester, most of the libraries have a room where they have used books, and there's so many usually puzzles in there. But also in some used stores, they have puzzles. And
wait, it happened again. I was trying to be like getting a puzzle, and there were so many other things there that were just like plastic, and you just like taught me that even getting a puzzle, I thought a puzzle was like harmless.
Yeah, it's all cardboard and harmless. Oh. But get a puzzle that has been somebody makes a puzzle and then they get rid of their puzzle. And it's nice, it's cardboard and it's fun and it's community, it's really good, but there's so many used puzzles around. I don't know where to get it in New York City, but there's so many places where you could get used puzzles. Maybe look in Marketplace.
Yeah.
Even though if you want to not use Facebook anymore. And I mean, I've chosen to still put my content out, but I'm not even sure what I'm going to do. But I'm definitely not shopping through any of these things. I've been really trying to be very conscious about my shopping. I think through COVID, I probably got a little bit off balance there when it was really important to me to be environmentally friendly. Yeah, I mean, we all kind of got a little even more off balance because we felt so out of control with COVID and everything. And then you started the online shopping and became a habit. It's so simple. You go to I could go to 3 stores and not find the thing. So it's like, why bother doing all that work? But we really have to do better.
It does really feel like, oh, what's the point? Like me not doing this when I can click Amazon and be like, buy like one button, and like, oh, everyone else is doing it. It feels so pointless.
It feels like if you change you and nobody else changes, what's the point? It's like a drop in the bucket, and the bucket is overflowing into ocean. So what is our little drop going to do? But we all have to do our drop.
I know.
Right? So that is the biggest myth that we have, is that my little steps don't make any difference. And I don't think that's true. I think your steps make a difference. I mean, if you were really self-righteous about it and you spoke about it and criticized people, they'd hate you, or they feel so guilty about themselves and they'd kind of gaslight you for doing what you're doing. But if you were just grounded and open and just loving in it and just not in people's face about it, then you would model that and people would want to do that with you. So when somebody's with me and I'm walking with them outside and I'm picking up garbage, I'm not like, I gotta pick up this garbage. So I'm like in their face about it, like all like patting myself on the back. I kind of pick it up and put it in my pocket and never say anything. And they don't say anything, but I know that they see that. And I think it's more impactful, the fact that I'm not all self-righteous about it. And I'm like, why do people litter? Then they'd be like, oh, this is more performative and it's not like real. And so if you're real, because you don't care about being performative, you don't have that attachment to it, that's when we could really influence people, I think.
Did you have to learn that? Like, how do you...
To not be performative about it? To not be like... Well, actually, Dad doesn't like... If you were environmentally friendly or you were a vegetarian or something, to be self-righteous about it is counter what you really want to be. right? And there are so many people in that, especially 20 years ago, there's so many people who are vegans and they're like real self-righteous about it, and it turns people off. And I didn't want to be like that. I wanted to be the kind of vegan. I was a vegan for a long time. I wanted to be the kind of vegan that inspired people, not made people feel bad. Because when people feel bad, they act like you're crazy. And so I didn't want to add fuel to that fire. And so I learned how to just be really centered about it and not like I had no attachment to it. I wasn't trying to be preachy. And you know, you've been we've talked about this before. We're around people that are a bit preachy, and it's like not cool. Like nobody likes it, and it doesn't really help the you know, it doesn't really make a movement.
Yeah, because then it feels like it's more.
Here. Our lights really
it feels
changing.
like it's more about the
performativeness.
As well, yeah, it's just about like being a good person as opposed to.
And sometimes when you first learn about stuff, you want to make sure everybody knows about it. But you have to be careful. If you're too preachy, you lose people. They're not actually listening. And if you're really integrated or centered with it, and you're very gentle about it, and you don't make a big deal, and then people are watching you, and you're kind, and you're not judging everybody. They don't feel judged by you. That's gonna make more impact.
Except, are we preaching right now?
Well, because we don't have a situation, and it's not like we're at a picnic and we're like, I'm not gonna use a plate. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You know, if I was like that.
I guess this is labeled.
No, we're inspiring people now. We're inspiring people. Yeah. But if we're in a context of something and we're like, why would you order a cup? You know, if you're going to sit in a coffee shop, why would you order a paper cup?
When it comes with judgment. Because we've all done stuff.
I just get my cup. I just say, can I have a for here mug? And they give me, I'm like the only one in the coffee shop with a for here mug. And they're all sitting there. But
okay, now there's judgment in it.
Okay, but I'm not talking to someone specific, right? So like think about it. Think about what little stuff you could do, and we can't do everything. It's not like I've never gotten a to-go cup ever before. I have, but sometimes I'll go without that drink if I don't have my thing with me, and I don't preach about that. I'm talking about it here because in general. But anyway,
it's hard to know when. Also, you can't be perfect, so. Sometimes if you're having a rough day, like I'll just get
something.
Yeah, I'll get something. I'll get ice cream to go
and not a cone. Like a dish with a spoon.
Yeah, a dish. And like take it home or something.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, we're living in this world and we have limitations, and sometimes there's just not the bandwidth to do that. And I know that there's a huge luxury to be like, okay, I could wait a couple hours to drink because I don't have a bottle to refill, and I don't have a cup to get a coffee, or I don't get coffee out, you know, whatever. I didn't buy coffee home. But if you know, if that's a privilege, it's a privilege.
Yeah,
and if you recognize that you have a privilege to
all
do
of
that,
this is a privilege,
then
to
you're
be
not
able
going to be preachy.
To for us even to tell and be like, you don't need.
So
try not to get this stuff. Like we're all in this at least.
So yeah. So it's all relative, but yeah, I realized that there's a lot at play here. There's so much at play here, and so you're not going to be perfect. And don't expect yourself to be perfect. But if you make little tiny small choices, and once they integrate or easy, you make a couple little tiny choices, they're sustainable. Mm-hmm. They're sustainable, and you will feel better. It'll improve your relationships. You won't be preachy to anybody else. You know, you just kind of do what you want to do for yourself. And that's going to have more impact on the people around you than being preachy or being judgmental or being like, I'm better than everybody. That's just not cool. That just doesn't help anybody. But it doesn't even help you. You know, it's kind of a fear-based thing that you're trying to, it's a kind of more of a attachment thing if you're doing that. Mm-hmm. So anyway, well, I sound a lot like I'm criticizing people more than I usually do on my show, but I'm trying to explain behavior.
This episode is kind of hard because I feel like I at least just realized how much I am contributing to it while I was trying to talk about it.
I feel the same way. I'm really glad that you said that, but I am very far from it. And like I said, I really far from perfect or far from where I even want to be.
Yeah.
You know, I purchase a lot more stuff, and even watching this show, I was like, this something's got to change. I have to change my business model or how I'm trying to get stuff out there to people, because if it's helping big people sell stuff to you, is that really helping? Am I just part of the problem? And so really have to come and question things. I
And
don't
do
want to
our
like leave you.
best.
I want to still be here and create content for you all, but to figure out, what does that mean?
I know.
Definitely, you know, really
Wow.
changed my shopping. But I know it really blew me away. Watch it by now and you'll be like, oh my gosh, we really have to do something to care for the earth and care about each other. And one of the best things you could do, get together with people in person, because it really changes how we see ourselves, how we see relationships, how we see our community, and how we see the world. That is one of the best things that you could do for the future, is to try to make more effort to be in person with people whenever you can. Play cards, play a puzzle, talk over a cup of tea or coffee that you make at home without a current cup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and loose tea leaves. And
I use it.
Homegrown.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You cannot be anywhere near perfect. I use Keurig cups all weekend, and it's fine. All right. Well, that's our show.
Didn't we learn a lot?
That's our show for Buy Now. It's overwhelming, so don't get overwhelmed. Just learn and just do something little, like put it in a cart or put that link in a notes app, and then decide on a bit of time before you come back and see if you want it or not. When you're giving things away, see if there's somebody else who could use it in person instead of donating it. Sometimes donations end up going right into the trash. If there's something with stains on it, they can't resell that stuff. So use it as rags, you'll give it a second life, or you could upcycle it into something else. So those are some ideas for you. I hope they serve you. They'll make you feel good, but you know, we really just have to be kind and nice to people around us. And I think that's the best way to make the most out of this one little life that we have. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Buy Now. We're live every Monday at 8 p.m. You could come on over to YouTube at Dr. Jodi at DoctorJodi. Come on over. You could watch us live, and then you could comment and ask us questions when we're live. If you want to sign up to be live coached on the show, I do live coaching on the show. You could just have your audio come on so no one sees you, no one knows who you are. You could have a pseudonym, and you could talk to me about something going on in your life, and I will coach you live. I've been doing those episodes. You can see them in some of my past episodes. So fun, so transformative. And these are topics that everybody is going through. So you're going to hear what's going on for this other person, and that you're going to be able to relate to it, and it's going to up-level your life too. So if you want more from me, come on over to my website too, jodiam.com, and we will stick with me. We're going to give you all the information that you need to feel better. See you next week.